Hello everyone, my name is Enzo Macarone and this is Pop Culture. So I'm here to talk about an anime series that I have recently finished. I watched it with my girlfriend. We were watching it for about a year because we continued watching it while we were together, so it took me 1 year to finish it. I've watched it on Netflix. This series was recommended by a lot of people that are into manga and anime. I saw a lot of YouTubers recommending this series to all their viewers, so I was very curious to watch it. There was a debate between this version and the previous version that was released when the manga wasn't finished. I thought the series was very interesting to me and I watched a few chapters. So I prefer to watch both series. I first watched the original anime from the early 2000s. I enjoyed it very much. I liked the characters, I liked the story, I liked the world they had built. So I decided that I would watch the new anime also to see what the difference was. The story is about two brothers that are learning how to use alchemy in a country that is almost as a dictatorship, where there is a Führer that controls everything. They are at war with a lot of other nations, and soldiers are users of alchemy. The most powerful ones are users of alchemy, and they are learning how to use this power as their father, who is also an alchemist. But something happens in their family that I can't talk now because it's better if you watch the series. But they use this alchemy in a forbidden way that carries a lot of bad consequences. They have to give something in order to receive something, and they end up giving parts of their body, one of the brothers, and he has to give another part to recover the soul of his little brother that he attaches to an armor that has a human appearance. So then they are going to fight against some dark forces that are lurking around. They are hidden and they are manipulating all the leaders of that country, and they are using alchemy in a scale that is very huge, and they have a very sinister plan that involves humans. So during the whole series you are going to discover what is that hidden plan, that secret plan that these enemies of humanity have, and you are going to learn about their origin, how are they made, what are they, and what are their intentions. So in one side you have humans that are divided, that are at war, they are fighting against each other, they are not united. And on the other side you have a very small group of beings that are called homunculus, and they are very united. They follow a leader and they have a very specific objective that involves humans and their lives. So basically the whole series, it's a fight between the power of humans and the power of homunculus. The humans fight with friendship and brotherhood, combining their forces, and homunculus have a lot of loyalty to their leader. They have a lot of resentment against humans, but they are very individualist. They are very selfish and powerful. To me this was a very different anime series because I usually watch seinen. This was my first shonen series that I have finished, and I enjoyed it very much. But maybe it's because it's a very different shonen series. For example, this shonen series has magic, but it's different from other types of anime that are related to magic. This has elements of magic combined with science because they use alchemy. For example, you need materials to do the powers so you can't just use your hands and that's all. You need something physical to use and to transform the matter. And what I found to be different to other shonen series was that the characters need to be very intelligent, and they need to combine the elements, the strategy, and the capacity they have to use alchemy to have more power. That's different from other series where the character just get angry or they get hurt, they recover, and then they become more powerful. Here, if they want to be more powerful, they have to learn new styles of alchemy, they have to read a lot of books, they have to practice, they have to go back with their masters, they have to get together with other people to become more powerful. And that's very different from the most common shonens where they just power up and they are ready to fight another a bigger enemy. And it's a very interesting contrast between humans and homunculus, because homunculus are more similar to the usual shonen characters where they have a limited power, they are very powerful, and they just get angry and they start attacking more aggressively. But the humans need to be more strategic, they need to think, they have to study, and they have to get together to fight. So that was one of the best things about this anime series that I like the most. How they have to defeat their enemies, joining forces, and that becomes an important part of the whole story, because you see how former enemies become allies to fight against the homunculus. And at the beginning of the story, the homunculus are very confident that they are going to win because humans are all separated, they are fighting against each other, and at the end of the series, that advantage gets lower and lower because humans start getting together and they start fighting as a team. So now I'm going to talk about why I think this anime series is one of the best that I have ever watched. First of all, the characters. I think the characters are very well developed. They all have a very defined personality, they have a very well made character arcs, and they are all very likable, even the bad ones. And this series has a lot of characters, a lot of secondary characters, trust me, and they all have a time to develop their story. And of course, a very important part of the story is that it has very good evil villains. It has villains with clear motivations, with a lot of charisma, evil charisma, that you just love to hate. And villains also have very interesting, very fulfilling character arcs. So both good characters and evil characters have character arcs that are very well developed, they have a very clear personality, and they are very likable. Some are likable because they are good, and others you love to hate them. Talking about the story, I think the story has a lot of mystery, that's why I'm trying to be very careful so as not to spoil main points of the plot. At the beginning of the anime you have a lot of seeds that are planted, and at the end of the story it all comes full circle. Everything that was mentioned at the beginning has its payment at the end, so you can tell that everything was planned. It's like when you read the Harry Potter books, that they are all well packed, they are all well planned, and this is the same thing, because in the story everything fits, nothing feels out of place, all the questions are answered, and there are no plot holes left to fill. And that is something that is very difficult to do, because it is a very long anime series, a very long manga series, and when you have a lot of mystery, a lot of questions, because this is a world that is completely original and it's not easy to communicate a totally original world to a reader or to a watcher. I think it's an incredible job that this mangaka has made. I really think that the story that Hiromu Arakawa created is very intelligent, very well thought, very well planned and developed. So if I have to give it a rating, I will give it a 9.5 because of the complexity of the story, the complexity of the characters, how they all have a character arc, how all the story becomes full circle and all the questions are answered. Sometimes you have very good mangas and animes that don't answer all the questions, or that they left a lot of things that are not explained. But in this case, everything, as much as it seems that you are not going to get an answer, at the end you have an explanation for everything. If you want to watch a series that has very lovable characters, even the evil ones, that has a story that is complex, that has a lot of mystery, that is revealed as the story goes on, and if you want to see a lot of action and a lot of comedy, this is a series, an anime series or manga series for you. It is very, very recommended. It's on my top 5 favorite animes and mangas of all time. So that's everything I have to say about Fullmetal Alchemist, an almost perfect anime and manga series. If you happen to like it, leave a like and subscribe to the channel because that helps me a lot to grow on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.